sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
The Indians continued their winning ways, riding the right arms of Danny Salazar and Cody Allen to their fourth straight win. The defense has shined lately, and once again the Tribe flashed the leather, making big play after big play. The loss knocked the Yankees out of first place in the AL East, and now the Indians go for the sweep next on Sports Time Ohio. Another gorgeous evening in downtown Cleveland as the Indians try to sweep the New York Yankees as we wrap up this six-game homestand. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. When this homestand began, the Indians got rolling by bludgeoning Minnesota with the bats. But, Rick, last couple of nights, complete game in all phases. They're playing well and finding different ways to win.
Well, they're playing with a lot of confidence right now, especially offensively. After that Minnesota series, there was a great swing right there by Lindor. The third time through after facing CC last night, they started to use the middle part of the ballpark, and they got some key hits to do that. They only scored 2 runs, but that's all it took because their defense was very good. Their pitching was solid, so that is the key. Look at what they're doing offensively. 32 runs in the 4-game winning streak. Hitting with runners in scoring position, a big key, and then also the starters have been solid, but no errors. They're playing great defense right behind that good pitching.
Yeah, don't give them any extra opportunities. Always improves your chances of winning, and that would certainly help Trevor Bauer tonight. Last time he pitched, he didn't have to do a lot. They scored 17 runs in support of Bauer, but he gave up 3 home runs, but that was it.
Well, 21 on the year. He's got to keep the ball in the ballpark to a home run hitting team and try not to walk anybody in front of him. But Trevor Bauer's been fine. He's got to come back. He's struggled a little bit at home this year, but he will be matched up against Nathan Eovaldi, and this guy averages 97 miles an hour. Now, this guy gets the second best run support in all of baseball. That's why he's 6-0 in his last 8 starts. So the Indians got their work cut out for him tonight if they want to go for the sweep.
Well, last night the Indians knocked the Yankees out of first place in the AL East. Tonight they go for the sweep of the Bronx Bombers. When we come back, a very special ceremonial first pitch when we return. Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. By your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud sponsors of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. swing and a miss, throw down.
Like I said,
in time.
not even close.
Lindor to Ramirez on the first. Double play! Inning over. He struck him out and the game is over. As the Indians beat the Yanks for the second night in a row. 2-1 Cleveland. Indians continuing to play inspired baseball here at Progressive Field tonight. A chance to sweep the New York Yankees. But before tonight's game gets underway, as usual, you have the ceremonial first pitch. And tonight, a very special ceremonial first toss as we go down to Andre Knott with more.
It gets no better than what today's first pitch was here at Progressive Field. One thing that Terry Francona said before the game today, he said, you know, in football there's no first kickoff. In basketball there's no first tip-off. But in baseball, you get a first pitch, and it's always special. Well, today we got no more special than what we saw today as Adriana and Maya Aviles both threw out the first pitch today as Adriana's dealing with leukemia. She's doing very well in her recovery, and her dad told me earlier, he said, when she first came down with leukemia, he promised her that he would allow her to throw out the first pitch before a game this season. Well, today he felt like was the day to have it happen, and he says, really, as a father, all he wants to do is make his kids as happy as he possibly can. And he says this moment he knew would mean the world to his daughters, and he wanted to make sure that they had it this season at this park.
Andre, I don't think there's any doubt that Adriana stole everyone's heart in this ballpark tonight.
Yeah. How cute she was out there with a lot of personality. You could tell she takes after Daddy. Can't you? He's saying, watch.
She's telling her, all right, just chill out, just wait. Here it comes. Courageous little young girl, and she's doing terrific. Great to see her out here with her twin sister, Maya. Mom and Dad out there on the field overseeing. I mean,
what a great
those
moment.
little girls were running circles around everybody on the field before the game.
They've been out here for about 15 minutes, getting loose, having fun, and parading around. And, boy, what personalities they have.
Terrific scene as we get ready for tonight's game. Indians 53 and 59. A game back of Chicago for fourth place in the Central. That's because the White Sox keep winning. They've won 3 in a row. Indians win streak is at 4 straight. That's the longest win streak currently in the AL Central. And New York going in the other direction. They're 61 and 51. A half game, actually a full game now back of Toronto in the AL East. Blue Jays won their 11th straight earlier today. They beat Oakland 4-2 behind Mark Burley. So it's a Yankee club that, I don't think they're ready to fold their tent and go home yet, but they certainly have to be wondering what has happened to their offense and how are they going to get it turned around. And today they'll go to work without Mark Teixeira in the lineup.
Well, as we talked about, as of July 28th, they had a 7-game lead, but they hit a bad spell. There's no one feeling sorry for them. They realize they're going to have to come out. They're going to have to fight their way through this. After tonight's game, they head to Toronto. They have 10 more games with the Blue Jays. They play plenty of games in their division the rest of the way, and they play very well in their division. So, destiny is in their own hands. So it's going to be interesting the rest of the way.
Well, there's Joe Girardi getting ready as his club will take their first swings against Trevor Bauer tonight. And let's look at the starting lineup for Girardi and the Yanks, brought to you by Toyota. Jacoby Ellsbury, 0 for his last 19, is in the leadoff spot. Then it's Brett Gardner, followed by Alex Rodriguez. Carlos Beltran, Brian McCann, Chase Headley in the middle. Greg Bird getting the start at first base. He'll bat 7th. Didi Gregorius is 8th, and Stephen Drew batting 9th.
And tonight's Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher is Trevor Bauer. Bauer making his 23rd start. He is 9-8 on the year, a .406 earned run average. He won his last start against the Minnesota Twins here on Saturday. He did give up 3 home runs, went 6 1/3, 7 hits, and 4 runs. But the offense was his pal that day. They scored 13 when he was out there. They scored 17 in the game. He is 1-2 in his career against the Yankees. Last year he was 1-1 in his 2 starts. He lost his last one. That was in New York. Let's set the defense behind him tonight, which is brought to you by Jeep. It looks like this. Brantley will be in left field. Almonte in center. Chisenhall over in right. Urshela is at third. Lindor at short. Ramirez at second. Johnson is at first. Gomes doing the catching.
The veteran crew chief, John Hirschbeck, will call the balls and strikes. Marvin Hudson is at first. Bob Davidson at second. David Rackley down at third. Now let's take a look at our window systems. Game time temperature. A warm 81 degrees. Just a light breeze that will be carrying the ball out toward right and right center field. Jacoby Ellsbury ready to climb in and get this game underway. It's been a rough road trip already for New York, and it won't get any easier. They'll head to Toronto for 3 games beginning tomorrow night. Trevor Bauer's first pitch up high, ball 1.
Yeah, for the Yankees, it's been the offense that has been the problems. The table setters, Ellsbury, Gardner, they are in slumps. Pretty much everybody.
Yeah, Yankees starting pitchers have received a total of 4 runs of support. That's runs scored while they're in the game in their last 7 games. 4 runs.
Yeah, for the starters.
Games.
So, I mean, we witnessed that at one point this year as well.
Ellsbury starts the game with a soft serve liner to left. Our keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Keep them in the park and make Eovaldi get the ball down. He's a tremendous fastball, and if he rides it up in the zone and you chase, you won't catch up to it.
That's right. Make him get it down.
Yankee table setters have not done anything in this series, and that's a big reason why the Indians have been able to keep them off the board. So Ellsbury snaps an 0 for 19 slump with his first hit in the series. We'll see how this works out now with Brett Gardner at the plate.
Yeah, Ellsbury had the night off last night. And they did, Gardner, the last couple of nights tried to manufacture some runs, trying to steal bases. He was thrown out twice, once by Gomes and once by Perez.
Missed outside with it.
Ellsbury has stolen 14 out of 20. But right now, he may just sit there and wait until he can get in the strike zone.
Just missed low. It's low again. 4 straight. Bauer walks Gardner. And the first 2 Yankees are aboard. Now remember his last start, Bauer had some control issues early in the ball game when he walked 2 in the first inning. He also gave up a solo home run in the first inning to Joe Mauer.
Well, this is what the Yankees wanted, and that's how they wanted to start the game out. Get the first couple of guys on base if they could, just to get something happening. The long ball has been the way they've scored in this series primarily.
Well, Alex Rodriguez has been held to 1 hit in the series. 1 for 10. Popped him up. First base, Johnson. Infield fly rule, 1 away.
A little aggressive going after Trevor Bauer's first pitch. And it jammed him. And he popped it up to the infield. So that's a big out for Trevor.
Now, Rick, there's a veteran hitter who's been around. He's seen it all. He's done it all. So after he sees a 4-pitch walk, is he sitting on something fat? He thinks he's going to get something right down the middle?
I would have to think he's looking fastball, but that ball maybe had some. It was a well-located fastball. And he wasn't patient enough. He was too aggressive. I think, he's been hitting with nobody on base. He sees it there. He just too aggressive.
Carlos Beltran goes after the first pitch, and he bounces it into the dugout.
Yeah, you know, normally after 4 straight balls in the first inning, a base hit, you would make him work to get in the strike zone, but that didn't happen. Good thing for the Indians and Trevor Bauer.
The 0-1. Good pitch. Really took something off, and it's 0-2. That ball dropped in at just 75 miles an hour.
Big slow hook.
Beltran, one of the few Yankees who has continued to hit. Broke his bat, and Ramirez takes it for out number 2. So now Bauer is 1 out away from getting out of a big jam early.
Well, both hitters that Bauer gets out, he was inside on both of them. This was an 0-2 pitch to Beltran. He jammed him, didn't get it out of the infield. So back-to-back infield flies, and Bauer a chance to get out of the first unscathed.
But still a dangerous customer to deal with first. Brian McCann, left-handed hitter with power. 19 homers on the year, including 1 in the series. It's his only hit. And a first pitch strike. Missed in off the plate, and the count 1-1.
Well, that's what he tried to do to Gardner, get inside. But when you miss in there, you better miss off the plate, and he has. But he's making a conscious effort to get inside to the hitters.
Upstairs, and Gomes gave a sharp look down to second, but Ellsbury quickly scampering
Out comes
back.
Mickey Callaway. He must see something here in the delivery of Bauer that he wants to go out and talk to him.
A hit and then a 4-pitch walk, followed by a first pitch pop-up, and then a broken bat humpback liner for out number 2. And then he's fallen behind McCann, 2 balls and a strike, and out comes Callaway.
I think he just a conversation. He was talking to everybody. He was talking to Gomes. He was talking to Bauer. Bauer was looking at him, and he wasn't looking him straight in the eyes. It was just a conversation.
Well, 7 balls, 7 strikes so far for Trevor. And now the 2-1 to McCann. High, deep, right field, near the line, and it is a home run. Callaway goes to the mound. He leaves. Bauer coughs up a 3-run homer, and the Yankees grab the early lead.
Boy, and he had to stay at home plate and watch it for a while. It was right down the line. And that's the damage. Bauer, another home run allowed. That's his 22nd, but a 3-run homer. And the Yankees jump up top early, 3-0. That was a big hit right there with 2 outs. Had a chance to get out of it. He hit a low fastball out yesterday for his only home run. He's saying stay fair, and it certainly did. That was in, too.
Chase Headley takes strike 1. And a foul back. It's quickly 0-2. So Brian McCann with his home run power, 20th of the year, 2nd in the series, but the crooked number homer. And then Bauer comes back and hits Headley after he had him down 0-2. making his major league debut, Greg Bird. And takes a strike.
We look at it, and then we can add that to the list of another first inning home run here in this ballpark.
Big reason why they've been outscored on the season, 73-48 in the first inning. Ripped foul.
I don't know what it is about the Yankees when Eovaldi pitches. They ought to put that uniform on the bat rack every day because they average him about 7.5 runs per start. He hasn't even taken the mound yet, and they have 3 on the board for him.
Now the 0-2. A little bit high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You call him the Rainmaker. Rip foul again. To right field, on the move, Lonnie Chisenhall reaches down and makes a basket catch to end the inning. But the Yankees jump on top early. Brian McCann with a 3-run golf shot. The Indians coming to bat. Terry Francona's starting 9 is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Jose Ramirez leading it off, followed by Francisco Lindor. Michael Brantley will hit third. Santana, Gomes, and Almonte in the middle. Then it's Chris Johnson, Lonnie Chisenhall, and Giovanni Urshela.
And Nathan Eovaldi is our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher tonight, making his 23rd start of the season. A nice record, 11-2. 4.15 ERA, though. The surprising thing, his fastball averages about 97.2 miles per hour. One of the best in the game, but he's only struck out 88 in his 123 2/3 innings. He made 1 start against the Indians in his career. It was a loss August 4th and 13. when he was with the Miami Marlins.
Jose Ramirez takes a strike over the outside corner. Jose has 5 hits and 11 at-bats in the series. Out of play.
Eovaldi this year 7-2 on the road in his 12 road starts. But as I told you before, 7.4 runs of support for him this year. And what a difference a year makes, because last year when he was with the Marlins, he had the lowest run support in the majors at 2.7. So they're getting him 5 more runs a ball game this year on average.
Ramirez goes down swinging. Arcia in the driver's seat. Nathan Eovaldi looking at that run support. He gets a ton of it. And because of that, he's got a win streak of 6 games, a career best. Unbeaten in his last 9. 2.87 ERA. So his overall numbers may be a little misleading as far as how he's pitching right now. And sometimes that's all that matters. How are you playing? How are you pitching at the moment? You can look at track records, you can look at statistics, but a lot of it comes down to where are you at right now? Because this is August the 13th. He might have been bad in April. He might have had an up and down May. Doesn't matter. Right now he's throwing a ball about as well as he has at any point this year. And so the Indians have a tough task ahead of them, already down 3 early. Francisco Lindor has 4 hits in the series. A couple of runs scored, an RBI, and a career best 7-game hitting streak.
That's the pitch you want to lay off. That fastball, about the letters are about belt high, maybe a little bit higher. It will be awfully tough to catch up to that one.
Out of play, full count.
But boy, you better, when you get the fastball, turn up the dial. So far in the first, I've seen the fastball, slow curveball, a slider, and a changeup. So a 4-pitch mix.
Michael Brantley waiting on deck. Ball 4. And the Indians have a base runner with 1 out on the first. 36th walk of the year for Nathan Eovaldi.
Let's check out the Yankees defense, brought to you by Jeep. It'll be Gardner, Ellsbury, and Beltran in the outfield. Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Bird on the infield, with McCann doing the catching.
Michael Brantley has hit in 4 straight games. His number's 11 for 20 during that hitting streak. Batting over 500 in his last 7 games.
Yeah, and since the All-Star break, he's been on a tear. He's been the Michael Brantley we know he can be. There you see, just a shade or a titch under 400 in the second half.
Michael hit .299 in July. He's batting .472 in August.
Time to heat up.
So much for the dog days. Lifted to left field over near the line. Gardner. 2 down. Here's what we told you earlier about Eovaldi.
How about the 2 Toronto boys that are up there? Hutchison and Burley are 1 and 3. Eovaldi is second. And Colby Lewis with Texas.
Surprised all 5 starters for Toronto aren't on that board.
That's right. Well, they have to make outs sometime. That's a softball club up there.
Carlos Santana takes a look. It's ball 1 outside. Santana has now picked up a hit in 4 straight games. And he's also driven in 9 in his last 12 ball games. Slow breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Boy, that's a nice pitch. It's 75. You're throwing 98, 97. You can throw that pitch. Plus, you mix in that slider and a nice changeup. Boy, that's a nice change of speeds. He's going to first.
That's low. 2-1. Three on the right side of the infield for New York with Santana at the plate. Outfield straight away. Just did catch the outside corner and a full, or the count goes even now at 2-2.
That was a changeup down and away. Let's look at the location. Boy, take some off. Great pitch. Great pitch.
Carlos got a high heater, and all he could do is foul it back at 97 miles an hour.
It's tough to get on top of those, boy. Yeah, I mean, you look good. He had a nice swing to it. But that's pretty much the best thing you can do unless it's down a little bit for you. It's tough to get the barrel head of the bat out front on 97. It's at the belt.
And the off-speed pitch down and in, full count. So Lindor will be off to the races with this 3-2 pitch to Santana. Hitching up, getting ready to go. And the payoff. Another foul back. Again, Lindor goes, and the 3-2 is inside. Second walk of the inning. So Eovaldi's trying to give the Indians a chance to come right back here in the bottom of the first.
When you have a guy like this and you get base runners, it would certainly be nice to take advantage of them, where you can have one hit and at least get a run on the board.
Well,
and
this to me is an interesting matchup because you got Gomes, who's the great low ball hitter, and Eovaldi, who thrives with that high fastball. Let's see if Gomes can
force him to get down in the zone. That's all.
Make him bring it down.
You know, and that's something the Indians have done this homestand. They've hit with 2 outs. They've hit with runners in scoring position. A big 2-out base hit would get the crowd right back into it. It'd pump up that dugout in there, too, after the big 3-run bomb by McCann.
To center field. Back goes Ellsbury. Onto the warning track and pulls it down. So Gomes tried the big part of the yard. Comes up shy. 3-0 New York after 1.
Well, get live Indians baseball all season long with MLB.com at bat on your smartphone or tablet. You can stay connected with live radio broadcasts, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat, the #1 app for live baseball.
Second inning, Didi Gregorius to lead off for New York. Partly because it's New York, a 5-game losing streak can be viewed as the coming of the apocalypse. And after last night's ball game, Joe Girardi, Yankee skipper, was asked what kind of an emotional effect it would have on his team after falling out of first place. And Joe responded by saying, "Look, I'm not a psychologist. I have no idea. But I'll tell you this. You want to be in first place. That's the bottom line. And the most important date to be there is on the last day of the season."
Right.
So there's a lot of baseball between now and then. He said, hey, maybe this turns out to be a good thing for this club. The old proverbial wake-up call.
Well, and they've been in first place for quite a while. But that's the thing. You can't live with it every day, having to answer the same questions. Look, the guys are going to go out there. They're going to try their hardest. They're in a losing streak. They're not hitting. There's not much you can answer to there. You don't win when you don't hit.
One down. Stat of the game brought to you by Buick. As you take a look at the Yankees' offensive woes of late last 7 games, they scored 9 runs.
Yeah. How can you win in the big leagues with that, no matter who you are?
And it just goes to show you that, look, we haven't seen them enough, Rick, but they appear to be a team that maybe lives a little too much by the long ball.
Well, that's the case. But then we talked about every game in the series. You handle Ellsbury Gardner, and what happens? You succeed. Well, you know what? They handle them the first 2 games. What happens in the first inning? They both get on. You get a 3-run homer with 2 outs, and boom, there it is. You don't let them on base. Solo home runs aren't bad.
Yeah.
But you're not going to keep them off base the whole series long. These guys they're too good. Eventually, they're going to get on.
Oh, my. Stephen Drew sending one deep to right. Chisenhall has no play. It's not coming back. Second home run in as many innings for New York. Second in the series for Drew, his 15th of the year, and it's 4-0 New York.
That's 5 home runs in the last 2 games for Trevor Bauer. Now, the Yankees they can hit him. That's 152 on the year. They're 3rd in the league, trailing Houston and Toronto. But there's a pitch right there that's middle of the plate. It speeds up his bat, and Bauer knows it. It looked like a little spinner. It was a breaking ball. It stayed up. It was high. And all Chisenhall could do is watch it go over his head.
That looked like one of those proverbial sliders that we talk about. The hanging slider goes a long way. Jacoby Ellsbury takes a strike. So the Yankees may be breaking loose from their offensive funk with 4 quick ones here tonight. Ground ball right, hugging the dirt all the way to Ramirez. 2 down. I'll tell you what's pretty amazing. You want to talk about stats of the game. The Yankees have not had 2 losing streaks of at least 6 games in the same season since 2000.
Wow.
Every other team in baseball has had at least 2 in the same season since 2006. They haven't had it done to them since 2000.
Well, that's a combination of they can score and they can pitch pretty well. It never. 6 games in a row. That's time and a half through your rotation.
I mean, it might not seem like a big deal, but when you think that, well, it's happened to everybody else.
Over 15 years.
They haven't had 2 6-game skids in the same season. And they haven't exactly been a dominant team the last 4 or 5 years either. Swung out and missed. Murph said both of those 6-game losing streaks for the Yankees in 2000 were in September.
Wow.
Murph said, he took his shoes off. He's got to do some math.
He's got to add.
Calculator. He said they lost 13 out of their last 15.
Okay.
And won the World Championship. So much for going in the back door, as they say. Left field, Brantley hitting over. Another homer for the Yanks. This one by Stephen Drew. And it's quickly 4-0 New York. Four nothing in favor of New York. Bottom of the second inning for Cleveland. It'll be Almonte, Johnson, and Chisenhall. Abraham Almonte, originally signed by the Yankees as a teenager out of the Dominican. He's gone 7 for 19 with the Indians. Couple of homers, couple of doubles. He's driven in 5. A little bit outside. Oh, what a wicked breaking ball. That's what can make Eovaldi really tough. You can throw it 97 and then watch this 87 mile an hour. Woo-hoo.
Wow, that thing goes down as well.
Time called just before Eovaldi.
Those 2 pitches right there, hitters would have fits. But he's got a slow hook to go with it and a slider as well. See ya.
Wow, I don't know. That hit 100 miles an hour, and it did not look like it was in the strike zone, but nonetheless, it's called a third strike.
Yeah, if it's up, I want to get a look at this on. Well, it was not that high. I want to see if it holds its course. That's outside of a little bit. On that angle, it's tough to tell. I wouldn't want to have to hit that. I think you'd need a bat about another 6 inches longer.
And he starts Johnson off with a curveball. Well, he's got everything working. He's throwing his changeup, his curveball, and he's got the blazing fastball, and he's throwing them all for strikes early. He did walk 2 in the first, but if he shakes off the rust from that, look out. There's a bouncer towards third. Stays fair. Headley. 2 down.
Well, grab some friends and catch a game at the new Corner Bar. It's open to all fans at Progressive Field. It's a $13 district ticket. It is presented by Sports Time Ohio, and they are going quickly, so get yours today. Tickets available at Indians.com.
So, Rick, Nathan Eovaldi has thrown 28 pitches to this point. 14 of them, half of his pitches have been 95 miles an hour or above.
Okay. Well, that's as advertised. He just threw one 100 miles an hour, a couple at 99, so we've witnessed it. But the other things he has to go with it, it's mind-boggling. What did I tell you before the game? When I looked at his numbers, and I haven't really had a chance to see him pitch this year, but coming in 88 strikeouts in 124 innings, I'm thinking to myself, are you kidding me with his stuff?
That one shattered the bat at Chisenhall, and the Indians go quickly here in the second inning. 4-0 New York. Third inning for New York. Alex Rodriguez, Carlos Beltran, and Brian McCann due up. Yankees got 3 in the first on a 3-run homer by Brian McCann. A solo shot by Stephen Drew in the second. Already 40 pitches now for Trevor Bauer as well.
I'm betting A-Rod takes the first pitch because he went up and swung at the first one after a 4-pitch walk in the first inning.
Now the 1-1. Upstairs. It's moos and ahs from the crowd after that one. 2-1. At the knees, outside corner. And now the count evens at 2-2. That fastball looked pretty good. Now it's a full count. And a leadoff man aboard with a walk. Second issued by Bauer. Let's go downstairs to our man Boris Karloff, who last when we saw him was doing his best impersonation of the mummy.
Yes, I was mummified earlier. You know, for Trevor Bauer, he's well aware of the two issues that he feels like are his two bugaboos of the 2015 season. The walk and allowing the home run. He told me he's worked on trying to figure out why the pitches have been hit out of the ballpark. He only gave up 21 last season. Guys, he's already given up 23 this season and 10 in the last 6 games.
And now he's given up a solid single to right to Carlos Beltran as the Yankees just continue to pour on the pressure.
Well, you notice after every walk that he has, the Yankee hitters come right back up and swing at the next pitch. At least they have to this point. The 2 walks, boom, here he comes. He's swinging at it. A-Rod swung at the first pitch after a 4-pitch walk, and Beltran came up and swung at the first pitch in his first at-bat. So now they have the table set, and out comes Callaway.
Now, it looks like the Indians have some stirring in the bullpen. I don't think anybody's up throwing yet, but they've got some guys moving around.
Let's look at the home run balls. That was a low heater, and he's a dead low ball hitter down and in. Kept it fair. The second one was a spinner on the breaking ball, I believe it was. And that one went out here. That was a solo shot. So they have 152 on the year. Houston leads the way. They have 158 as a team. Toronto 156. I don't know if Toronto homered today or not.
Kyle Crockett is about to get loose for Cleveland.
Okay, so Toronto hit one today. That gives them 157. That's a ton of homers, isn't it?
You're not a kidding. And they don't show any signs of slowing down. Bauer misses low. Ball 1 to Brian McCann. Two balls, no strikes.
Told you on the year for Trevor Bauer here in his home ballpark, a record of 4-5, but an ERA of 5.60. So it's 3 runs better on the road than it is here. Why? I don't know.
This one's hit high in the air to right field, shallow. In comes Chisenhall. And that's out number 1. Well, St. Louis was trying to sweep the Pirates tonight at Busch Stadium, but the Pirates scored 7 runs to start the game and chased Lance Lynn after just 2/3 of an inning.
Wow. I think the first 2 losses upset them a little bit, huh?
They haven't been able to beat St. Louis, especially in St. Louis.
Not too many teams have.
And the Cardinals, 73 wins. That is far and away the most in the majors. Chase Headley, a foul ball. And Rick, don't look now, but the Chicago Cubs,
yes,
passed St. Louis or passed to San Francisco, so they're now the second.
Oh yeah,
card.
I know it. All 3 teams. They're the 2 teams in the Central.
High fly ball, right field near the line again. Chisenhall into the corner, makes the grab. Rodriguez will tag and go to third. Now there are 2 down. Let's check in with Al Pulaski with the Mazda Game Break, who has more on the Pirates' jailbreak against Lynn and the Cards.
Yeah, Matt, Rick, you were just talking about it. Here it is, Pedro Alvarez, top of the first inning with his 17th home run of the year. The Pirates with 7 runs on 7 hits. Cardinals got a couple in the bottom of the first, but it's still 7-2 in favor of the Buccos. Second inning in St. Louis, guys.
I mean, look at that. As great a year as Pittsburgh has had, the Cubs are right on their heels.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
And then you've got San Francisco lurking, too. So, I mean, anybody could still be the wild card. Not that the division was out of reach, but boy, it's going to be tough to catch St. Louis. If they haven't faltered by now, Rick.
Well, it doesn't look like it, but you just...
Uh-oh, that's hit hard. Deep left. Back goes Brantley sprinting onto the track. Makes the catch right in front of the big wall to hold the Yankees off the board for the first time in 3 innings. Hey, a reminder as you enjoy a cold one to stay tuned later. The game for Miller Time brought to you by Miller Lite. Home half of the third, Indians down 4 as they try to mount a comeback against Nathan Eovaldi. Giovanni Urshela in one of the few slumps of his young career. He's 0 for his last 14 as he takes a look at a strike. Tell you, Rick, for a guy who really thrives with the letter high fastball, he's been able to throw some low darts at the knees.
Did you see that moving?
Yeah.
At 98.
There's the high heater.
Yeah. You know, while we were in between innings, our stat guru and our one and only Mr. Popper and John Creepop back there hiding. In his career, 583 and 2/3 innings, 409 strikeouts for this guy. With that stuff, you would think he would have more. At least I would.
Well, I'm surprised he's given up as many hits in terms of innings pitched. 123 innings,
Right.
147 hits.
Well, I don't know. I know this is only the first time this team has faced him. He has had a couple at-bats against, let me see, what other player here? Almonte has had 3. Nobody more than 3 at-bats except for Johnson, who has had 12. So not really a book on this guy, but
I suppose like any starting pitcher, if you catch him on a night where he doesn't have command of a secondary pitch, I don't care how hard you throw. These guys will catch up to you and they'll square it up eventually. So maybe, there are nights where he doesn't have good secondary stuff and they can hit the fastball.
I want to know what nights when you're 11-2 you don't have good stuff. I know his ERA may be up there, but there's another walk.
And that could be a problem for him. You walk a few guys, you give up a big fly, and all of a sudden, as we saw with Trevor Bauer, they put a crooked number on the board in a hurry.
That's why he averages about 6 innings per start. You know, he's pitched 7 innings, 1, 2, 3, 4 times, 8 inning once, and that was 3 starts ago against the Twins. But most of the times it's right around the 6th inning mark, and that may be because of the walks. Well, that's only 38 on the year.
And it's outside. Ball 1 to Jose Ramirez. Well, with the Yankee bullpen situation and the way they've been used lately, they'd love to see Eovaldi try to get deep into this game. They've gone 15 straight starts without a starter going at least 7 innings.
Right. Well, that's the one thing you got to talk about the Cleveland Indians pitching staff. Their starters, they have, I don't know if any other team can boast this or not, but they all of the 4 of their starters. There you go, base hit.
Ramirez drives one right up the gut. Well, this young man continues to really impress in his second tour of duty this season with the big league club. He extends his hitting streak now to 8 games.
Yeah, he got a fastball down enough for him to hit it right back up the middle. So the first hit for the Indians, and they have the table set, first and second, nobody out. I was talking about the Indians pitchers. 4 of them, the top 4, have given up less hits than innings pitched, and that's not an easy thing to do. I don't know if any other team can say that. 4 out of their 5.
No, it definitely speaks to the kind of just pure stuff that those guys all have. Francisco Lindor bunting. Look to third, throw to first. Eovaldi just did get Lindor.
Well, watch Eovaldi come off the mound and make a really nice play to get it in the air. If it hits again, it's a good shape, but it's too high. He thought about third, really at 4-0, just get your out. He did. He thought about it originally, thinking he had time, but you don't want to make a mistake. It can open up for a big inning. He gets an out. Now he's got to face Michael Brantley, and the Indians have an opportunity to cut into that 4-0 lead.
And Michael Brantley flied to left his only time up. Up and away, ball 1.
Oof. Good pitch. Well, when you watch this and you're geared for 96, 97, and then you see that ball start out so high, that's like slow pitch softball coming in the mid-70s.
And a foul back. Brantley falls behind on the count 1-2. Michael has been one of the best and currently the second best in the American League with runners in scoring position this year, batting .366.
Speaking of Michaels, we got to wish a happy birthday to Mike Grignon, our A2 in the booth there. Happy birthday, Mike. Didn't know it was his birthday.
Did he hear you? Huh?
No, he didn't hear me. He's got me turned down.
1-2 hit in the air. Deep center. Ellsbury over, and he'll make the catch. Tagging and coming home to score is Urshela. And the Indians get on the board. Brantley picks up RBI number 63 this year. So up comes Carlos Santana with 1 on and 2 out. Santana drew a 2-out walk in the first inning.
We want to send along a special hello to Tim Urskaitis, who's a security supervisor here at the ballpark. He's in Fairview Hospital recovering from knee surgery. Tim, hope you're feeling fine and watching the ball game tonight.
Yeah, Tim, hope to see you back here soon. The Indians have done a better job on the homestand of getting these big clutch hits. So far on the year for Santana, 8 for 45 with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position.
Well, you know, it's the toughest hit to get in baseball, and it has been for the Indians all year long up until this homestand. And boy, it just makes it seem so much easier when you can get one early. Everybody else gets into it, relaxes a little bit. Seems that they want to join the party, and everybody doesn't feel like they have to do it on their own.
And a breaking ball drops in for strike 2.
Well, both times he's behind in the count in this at-bat, he's dropped the curveball in for strikes to Santana. And that's not the one you're going to swing at unless you have to. So you can't blame Santana for taking them. You're not looking for it.
And now the 2-2. Hit in a right field, a base hit. And coming around third, Ramirez will score. Santana delivers that clutch 2-out RBI hit. And the Tribe cuts the Yankee lead in half at 4-2.
That was a nice at-bat by Santana. I like that. He spit on the curveball when he was behind both times. And then he finally gets his fastball. We'll make this our McDonald's. I'm loving it. That ball came back over the middle a little bit. Got too much of the plate, and he muscles it into right field. So a nice job, a 2-out hitting by Santana. Now they cut that lead in half, make it a 4-2 ball game. Santana's 54th RBI. And let's see, now they can relax a little bit.
His 17th 2-out RBI, which is most on the club. I told you before he only had the 8 hits.
Right.
Now 9 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs, but he has the most.
Okay.
Pitch outside. Yan Gomes. Tell you what, he hit the ball hard his first time up, but it died on the warning track in deep center.
Well, he started him off with a slider first pitch, and I think you might have learned something there. So now you go right back to that heater for the next 2 pitches. Now Gomes, you see him slap the head of his bat. He had a fastball and you foul it off, but it's awfully tough to center a 97, 98 mile an hour fastball. Had a good swing, looked good, went straight back. Just tough to put in play.
And a strike called. I think what scouts had to love the first time they watched Eovaldi was, Ricks, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of effort involved.
Right.
It just looks like
it's an
easy, it pops out.
It's an easy mid-90s, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's not grunting and groaning and 100% max.
There's a ball rifled into right field, and it gets down. Nice job to smother it by Beltran. Santana will go to third, and he dives in safely. Well, Yan Gomes with a nice piece of 2-out hitting, and the Indians try to keep the rally alive.
Well,
that ball gets by Beltran, and Santana scores easily.
Well, Beltran, he's always been a good fielder, and at his age, he went and he picked it. There's a changeup away that Gomes stays on. He committed. So he says, once I'm coming, I can't stop. But he made the play. Well done. He's not going to get him at third base, so Gomes has to hold up and stay there. So another 2-out base hit.
And now Abraham Almonte.
You know, Matt, it seems like after that first 2-out base hit, it just everybody else joins in.
It's like they forget there's 2 outs.
Yeah, they do. All right, way to go. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. And, boy, it takes a lot of pressure off everybody.
Down on the dirt, picked nicely by McCann. The pitch. Almonte geared for the fastball, and that changeup has been pretty good. Shoots it out of play. And behind in the count now, 1-2. Now the 1-2 offering. In the dirt, another good stop by McCann. So there have been two opportunities where potentially the Indians could have gotten another run home in this at bat, but McCann's been able to keep the ball in front of him. And as hard as this guy can throw, that's no easy task at times. Two on, two out, 2-2 pitch. Low and a full count.
Boy, if anything, they are certainly making Eovaldi work to get through this inning.
Yeah, he's closing in on 60
yes,
pitches for the night.
Yes,
after
he is.
Breezing through the second inning. Here's the payoff. Right back at him. It hit off the leg, and the recovery is made at first base by Bird to end the inning. The Indians, though, cut the lead in half. Carlos Santana heating up 7 for his last 16 with a runner in scoring position. It's a 4-2 ball game. New York on top 4-2. Didi Gregorius will lead off here in the fourth. Indians, though, clawing their way back into it.
Nice play. That guy, it was coming awfully hot. He stopped it, he bobbled it, and he caught it. Never dropped. Nice play.
Missed inside.
Let's watch this. I would have been ducking. Look at up, bobbled, stayed with it, and caught it. Well done, sir.
Foul back.
This is an inning Bauer's got to put a 0 on the board. Shut him down.
In the dirt. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Gregorius socks one right back up the gut into center field.
He sure did. A 2-2 fastball. Took it right back up the middle. Boy, I'll tell you, a tough break for the Indians because Almonte hits this ball, and where does he get Evalde? Right off the foot, and where does it deflect to? His first baseman, Bird. He's able to pick it and go step on first base to end the inning. If that finds a hole, that's another run. Inning's still going. So the Yankees catch a break.
Stephen Drew homered his last time up. That's called ball 1. Looks like the Indians bullpen Crockett again is about to start heating up.
Well, I bet he's ready.
Won't take much.
No, won't.
Two-0. Well, Rick, it seemed like a foregone conclusion when we were out in Los Angeles, but it was just announced that C.J. Wilson of the Angels will have season-ending surgery to remove bone spurs in his left elbow.
Well, he took himself out of that start, didn't he? The start before when they were in Houston. They played a man short for a while, and, well, I guess he knew it. Well, the command right now for Bauer. Home plate is jumping around a little bit on him.
Not sure, but we might get a different reliever up in the Tribe bullpen. Crockett had been up.
Yeah, it looks like Webb.
Ryan Webb, who was brilliant in game 1 of this series. Line to left, base hit, down into the left field corner. Gregorius around second on his way to third. Brantley will have to dig it out quickly. Here's the throw, overshoots the cutoff man, and Gregorius scores easily. The Yankees come right back and answer on an RBI double by Stephen Drew to make it 5-2.
Well, good stroke by Drew to hit the double. He stayed on it, went right down the line. And I was watching Gregorius. He was flat out flying. Brantley comes up, and he had no chance. Once you miss your cutoff man, they go out to get him. Watch him run. Put his head down, and they're sending him all the way. And not even a chance. But then again, Brantley overthrew his cutoff man, so Drew gets his 14th double. The Yankees get their 5th run. And Mickey Callaway is going to wear out a pair of spikes tonight if he has to go out there anymore.
His 3rd trip, and the next time they go out, it'll be for that guy, probably. Unless Bauer can quickly reel it in here. But he's given up hits to back-to-back batters to start the inning. Just appears to be one of those nights where he doesn't have it.
No, he does not. It's the walks. It's been moving. He's given up a couple of home runs. And the Yankees have been a team starved for runs. So you know what? They're like a shark in water right now. They smell a little blood. They're going after it. Yankees a team on the year that 50 times, this is now 51, that they've scored 5 or more runs. And in those games, they're 43-7 in the first 50.
Top of the order, Jacoby Ellsbury. Up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now the 1-1. In there for a strike. Ellsbury not happy. He falls behind in the count. Swung out and missed. He chased a breaking ball. That's the first strikeout tonight for Bauer. 1 down in the 4th inning.
We'll make this our Circle K strikeout. It comes off a good curveball in the dirt. Able to get Ellsbury to chase it. Gomes will just pick it up and tag him. That'll be out number 1 and his first strikeout tonight.
Gardner takes. It's a strike in the count 0-1. Brett Gardner walked and scored in the first, fly to left to end the 2nd inning. Hit the deep left. Brantley sprinting. This one's over his head and off the wall. Coming around third. Drew will be waved home. He scores. Another double for New York. And Gardner's 2-bagger makes it 6-2 Yankees. And that will be it for Bauer.
Well, you look at the fastball. Gardner stayed on it and slices it the other way. Goes off the wall. So a short night. Not a good night for Trevor Bauer. 7 hits. At this point, 6 runs. In just, 3 and a third inning.
Terry Francona has made the Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen. And as Bauer exits, and then we believe it will be Ryan Webb coming on when we come back.
Well, Yankees lead at 6-2. We're going to give you a look at some of the location that Trevor Bauer had tonight. A fastball down and in. That one to McCann, that was a home run, Drew. It was a spinner out over the plate, and then some fastballs that, you know, not well located, and they took advantage of. Down the line, then another one, double off the wall. So the Yankees had Bauer's number tonight. They've been waiting to break out of it. It was a matter of time. They have 6 runs to this point, where they've scored, would you say, 6 runs in their last 7 games. So they're breaking out of it tonight.
Well, Ryan Webb gets the charge to try and slow down the Yankees here in the 4th. Runner at second and 1 out. Alex Rodriguez, the batter. He has popped up and walked. Takes a strike. Swung on and missed. He chased a slider low and away. Chopped to short. Oh, man. Lindor looked to third. He'll throw. No, he can't throw out Rodriguez because he threw it low and Johnson couldn't dig it out. It'll be an error charge to Lindor.
Well, that look to third base, that little hesitation, stopped him from getting anything on that throw to first base, and Johnson couldn't help pick him up.
Well, that ball almost hit Gardner. He barely avoided it.
He hurdled it. Watch his footwork here. He's going to go to third and then just turn and throw. He didn't have anything, you know, with his feet going that way.
The reason he doesn't go to third there, watch Gardner, after he hurdled the ball, we won't see it on this replay, he really bowed out to take the throwing lane away from Lindor, and that's why he turned and went to first, but he just didn't get enough on it. Smart base running play by Gardner. And now Beltran, who singled his last time up, takes low ball 1.
All right, let's check your angle out, what you were talking about. He jumps up and then goes out. That's a good call. Went outside the bag so he could come in ahead and didn't give him a lane to throw. Very good call.
Perfectly placed is Lindor. He'll step on the bag and throw to first to end the inning. But the damage done. New York answers the 2 scored by Cleveland, and they restore a 4-run advantage. Time now for the injury report, brought to you by the Injury Lawyers. at Elk and Elk. And as we take a look at what's going on with the Indians, Jason Kipnis finally got out on the field and did some throwing before the ball game today. With more on that, how'd it go, Andre?
Sorry about that. Everything went fine for Jason Kipnis. He only threw the ball about 50 to 60 feet. He'll throw again tomorrow, get a little bit further, about 90 to 100. He's pointing towards Tuesday as the day that he hopes to be back when the team is in Boston, if everything continues to go as it's gone.
Chris Johnson looks at a pitch inside, ball one. I saw him when he came off the field. He was going up the tunnel. He looked like a guy who just got a pardon by the governor. He was pretty fired up.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt good, and he was excited. And, that's a big hurdle. Once you get out there and you throw, and okay.
And it feels,
all right,
in your mind, it feels pretty good. It feels better than it has for the last few months or whenever he heard it. But you have to wait and see tomorrow.
We'll see if the Indians can battle back once again. Chris Johnson, a ground out to third, his first time up. Fights this off, foul right side. And strike three called. Hirschbeck rings him up. And Johnson saying it was a high pitch. And Hirschbeck says, I didn't think so. Third strikeout for Eovaldi.
Now he must think it's up. That pitch was upstairs. He didn't offer at it.
Foul right back. Out of play. Lonnie Chisenhall grounded out his first time up. And he's down to the count. Takes one in off the plate. Out of play. Chisenhall trying to stay alive in this at bat.
Well, he was able to get inside on Lonnie his first at bat. Lonnie had a nice slider there.
To third, big hop for Headley. Low throw, but it's on the money to Bird. Jason Kipnis got out on the field before the ball game today, and again, this was the first opportunity he'd had to actually pick up a ball and throw it since they put him on the DL. He's firing up the gun show.
Well, that's how you can come out when you're getting early work in.
Giovanni Urshela walked and scored in the third. Andre has some more on Kipnis.
You guys just showed that video, and I could make fun of the T-shirt that he was wearing, but the one thing that he did say, I asked him if he was looking for a comfortable place to throw the ball, and he says, you know what, it hurt so bad for so long in that shoulder to throw that he said he could throw from any angle, and it felt good for the first time in a long time. That's what made him the most positive about being out there throwing today.
Well, that's good news.
Base hit for Gio, who snaps in 0 for 14 slump. He's been on safely twice tonight. This time with 2 outs here in the 4th inning.
Looked like he picked on a slider right here from Eovaldi. Exactly what it was. And lined it in the left center field with a good swing. So he's been on twice tonight. Urshela came around to score in the third after he had a leadoff walk in that inning.
Weekly chopped to short, and the inning is over. 4 complete. Yankees on top, 6-2. Northern Ohio Honda dealers. By the Cleveland Clinic. Call for an appointment today. And by the game-changing all-new Ford F-150. The future is tough.
Well, KeyBank Kids tickets start at just $15 for kids 12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. The kids' tickets are located in the new family deck area here in Progressive Field. So log on to Indians.com.
Well, we go down to the 5th inning. And the Yankees leading at 6-2. Brian McCann homered in the first inning, a 3-run shot, giving him 20 home runs on the season. And our own John Krepop, using various internet sources, tells us that Brian McCann has now hit 20 home runs in 8 consecutive seasons. That's 2 shy of the record for catchers in the history of baseball. Mike Piazza and Yogi Berra both homered 20 times at least in 10 consecutive seasons.
That's a lot. And that's fair.
And that's out number one. I'm going to bring up Chase Headley, who was hit by a pitch and fly to deep right in the third inning. You know, Rick, I got to thinking about John Hirschbeck. We don't see all of the umpires as much as we used to because of the way that the setup is nowadays. And he's working the plate tonight. And John, of course, makes his home not far from Cleveland and Youngstown. And I think for years people were somewhat aware of the Hirschbeck family story. His young son John was 8 years old when he passed away in 1993 of a rare disease known as ALD. And only to find out that his son Michael also had the same disease. And Michael, we saw him at the ballpark for years.
He used to be a bat boy for the Indians.
Loved coming to Cleveland with his dad when his dad could umpire a game here in Cleveland because he'd be a bat boy. And
right.
He came here last year for a game in April. He was going to be the bat boy for Terry, and the game got rained out. And John and Michael packed up and drove back home. And sadly, that night, he passed away of a grand mal seizure is what happened. Just unimaginable for anybody who's a parent to have two young boys pass away at a young age. Your heart goes out to the Hirschbeck family, and I think a lot of people wondered if John would come back after that.
Right.
I mean, how much can a human being take? But he said he wanted to come back, wanted to go out on his own terms, and yet he actually planned on coming back last year. And yet while he was away, he tripped on the back patio at home, busted up his kneecap, tore his quad muscle. So
boy, would things go wrong.
Yeah. But he back here again this year. He's been umpiring for 33 years. And that ball ends up in no man's land. A nice play by Lindor, and the call is out at first. There was some feet flying in every direction. I don't know how Marvin Hudson could see whose foot was where.
Well, they're going to take a peek at it, and they're going to decide not to challenge it.
Nice play by Lindor, Rick, to just kind of scoop that ball.
Well, that's his only chance. He couldn't have gone to the bare hand.
Yeah,
boy, how close was that?
Just did get his foot on the bag to record the out.
I'll tell you, that was close.
And with two down, Greg Bird, the batter 0 for 2 on the night. Now, Greg Bird is one of the top prospects. He was deemed an untouchable by the Yankees during trade talks this year. A lot of people thought the Yankees were going to make some kind of a move. They did not. They decided to essentially kind of stick with what they had, but Bird was a 5th-round pick in 2011. And he opened a lot of eyes among his teammates during spring training this year. Alex Rodriguez sent out a tweet during spring training and said, you watch this kid's work ethic, you know he's got a great makeup, he's going to be around for a long time. So that has to make you feel good as a young player when a veteran says that about you.
I'll bet Bird, if he has a chance, can't wait to get back to play at Yankee Stadium with the short porch in right field, being the left-handed hitter he is.
Now, how much he plays,
right,
being that he's behind Mark Teixeira, is anybody's guess. That ball's hit off the end of the bat toward left, and Brantley comes in and over to make the grab. Yankees go 1-2-3, and they lead it 6-2. To the bottom of the fifth, and for the Tribe, Francisco Lindor, Michael Brantley, and Carlos Santana coming up. Lindor walked his first time up, laid down a sacrifice bunt in the third. And a foul right back. You know, Rick, I was thinking, as much as we've seen Lindor, especially in this homestand, bunt runners over early in games, I started thinking back. Obviously, Omar Vizquel was tremendous with the bat, whether it was bunting, hit and run, any of those kinds of situations. Wow, the diving and attempt by Lindor, and he's tagged out for out number one. Boy, you hate to see a guy dive like that. The risk of injury going into first base seems like it's worse than in any other bag, other than maybe home plate.
Well, he was trying to avoid the tag, but, you know, it was where Bird didn't want to flip it. Why should I when I know I can tag him? He finally sees that. He goes out, and he's trying to avoid the tag, and I think that's why he did it.
But I was thinking, Rick, other than Omar, the last guy that I remember bunting, especially early in games, was Robbie Alomar.
Well, Robbie was hitting third when he was
different
doing
spot in the order.
Yeah, you know, and here was a guy that could hit 20 and drive in 100 and things like that. That was different.
But I think Robbie was hitting in front of, was it Juan Gonzalez that one year? And it just seemed like he was driving everything in, so it seemed to make sense. Even though he was batting third, and normally you don't like to see your three-hitter give himself up.
Well, what Robbie would do, he'd end up getting sacrifices. I think more so he would try and bunt for base hits.
Yeah.
Early, you know, and if they got him out, he'd go get a sacrifice. But so far with Lindor doing that, it's sort of paid off here in this homestand because they've been able to score on it.
Yep.
You know, when you only have 27 outs and you weren't scoring and you weren't hitting, when guys drive in runs with runners in scoring position, makes a difference. You don't mind giving it up then.
Yeah,
when you're not driving them in, you need every out you can get.
Situation like tonight, some managers down 4 might not like a guy sacrificing in that situation, but it paid off because they ended up
and they got a 2-out base hit.
Yeah,
it always helps when you can get a key hit.
Yeah,
it really does, because something's happening, something's positive, and I sort of like it because Lindor's a young kid. He's learning. He can bunt. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. He's brought a lot of energy to this ball club. I mean, when they get situated and when, you know, he gets a little feel for it, he'll know the times when and when not to do it.
Unfortunately, the Yankees came right back and answered those 2 runs the Indians scored to restore their 4-run advantage. And now Nathan Eovaldi is going to work. Let's go down to Andre, who has a little bit more to add on Lindor and what he's brought to the club.
You know, it's been interesting with Lindor when you talk about the sacrificing. I talked to him about that last night. He says sometimes it's on him, sometimes it's on Tito. Him and him, they both have a very good relationship, and he's getting a feel for when to do it. Now, he said there's been a couple times where Tito said swing the bat, but as you said, Arch, it's kind of worked for the offense recently, so they've kind of let him do it on his own, and it's worked over the last few weeks.
Right. I mean, that's what I noticed. At first, when he started doing it, I was the first one to think, what are you doing giving up an out? We need every out we can get here. But it started paying dividends. You know, they were driving some in, and all of a sudden you're saying, okay, fine. I mean, it's working. You don't like to give up an out early a lot of times, but if you do and it works, there's nothing wrong with it. You got to love it. But he'll get a feel for it a lot more, and Tito's going to tell him the right way. He's going to teach him. He'll learn.
Plus, I don't know how much of this comes into play. Maybe none at all. But if I'm Brantley or Santana and I see him sacrifice in front of me, that gets me pumped up. Because he's basically saying, here, big boy, now knock him in.
Yeah. He's giving up his out to give it to you, give you an opportunity. That you got to like it.
Now, Carlos Santana got that key 2-out RBI hit in the third. Pops this one to left. Foul ground.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, Matt. After this homestand, this has been the best homestand we've had, I think, all year long as far as energy, just the way the team is starting to develop a personality. I'm interested to see what we do on this 11-game trip.
This is a grueling stretch,
well, sure
period.
You're in August, but my point is we're going into our division to start. Then we're playing the Red Sox, who we never played, and then going to New York for 4, and then we got to make up in Chicago. It's going to be interesting to see what this team does on that trip.
21 out of the next 27 games will be played on the road for the Indians. Hey, don't forget to tweet your strongest fan photo to us using the hashtag STODataStrongFan for a chance to have one of your photos shown during an upcoming telecast. It's all courtesy of T-Mobile. New Indians pitcher is Kyle Crockett. The Ryan Webb worked an inning and 2/3, scoreless baseball. Crockett makes his 14th appearance of the season. Didi Gregorius, Stephen Drew, and Jacoby Ellsbury, all left-handed bats due for the Yankees here in the 6th.
Sean Armstrong up getting loose for the Indians as well. Well, the Yankees in the first, oh, there we go. Nice one hopper.
Urshela throws him out. In-game recap brought to you by your Toyota dealers. Yankees jumped him into first. Brian McCann, a 3-run homer just inside the pole. Then in the second, Stephen Drew hit a solo shot. It was 4-0. Indians got a couple back in the third, but the Yankees came right back in the fourth with 2 more. And that's where we stand, 6-2. Stephen Drew homered, doubled. He's driven in 2. He scored 2. Oh, what a diving stop by Urshela. And Johnson can't pick it out of the dirt. That was a fantastic stop by Urshela, leaping toward the line. And on the throw, Johnson just couldn't quite dig it out, and he was mad at himself.
Well, that's the second time a ball. He couldn't pick it at first. And there's the dive. He gets up and he throws quickly, and it's going to be. He couldn't help him out. It goes as an error now on Urshela, making a tremendous stop, but to throw a little errant.
Isn't that a kick in the shorts? I mean,
Yeah,
you make
it
that
is.
great diving stop, and you still
Yes,
get
it
charged
is.
with an error.
I think he had a little more time than he thought he had going down the line. But what a great stop. It showed good range.
Jacoby Ellsbury, 1 for 3 tonight. Boy, this game can test you, beat you up, humble you, chew you up, spit you out.
Yeah. All in one game.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes in one inning.
Well, the approach for the lefties, the first two, boy, they're taking them the other way. Kyle Crockett. Gregorius went down that way and hit the ball well. One hopper over to Urshela.
And it's a foul off by Ellsbury over to Gardner in the on-deck circle. Oh, and 2 the count. With 1 on, 1 out here in the 6th. Checked on a ball that was a little high. Count stays 1 and 2. Jacoby Ellsbury snapped an 0 for 19 slump when he singled and came around on the homer by McCann in the first. That was the second longest drought of Ellsbury's career. He had an 0 for 22 back in 2010. That gets away from Gomes, and down to second goes Drew. And a full count now for Ellsbury.
Well, let's take a look and see what this is going to be called right here. It looked like a fastball. I don't think it hit the ground. It was a fastball down. It just went off the end of the glove, I believe. Pass ball.
Crockett deals payoff pitch, and it's punched out of play. Ellsbury missed 43 games this year. He was on the DL from May 20th until just before the All-Star break with a right knee sprain. It was one of those free agent signs when New York went after him. It was a little bit of a head scratcher in that he's not a power guy.
Right.
But obviously the Yankees felt like he was a guy they really had to have in their lineup.
And didn't they have Gardner playing out there in center field every day, too?
Yeah. And he takes a walk. Join Blue Jackets head coach Todd Richards, Jim Tressel, and Terry Francona as the Positive Coaching Alliance presents Breakfast with the Coaches. You'll hear from the panel, talk about their influences and experiences that have helped them become successful. Tickets, information, call 440-670-3580. 2 on, 1 out.
And this will probably be the last hitter for Crockett.
Outside corner, a strike is called.
See if Kyle can get the ground ball and maybe turn a double play. They're going to have to hurry if you get Gardner running.
Slapped fouled on the left side. Gardner was named to the All-Star team this year by Ned Yost after Alex Gordon suffered that groin injury in Kansas City. And I just saw where Gordon's ready to go out or very close to going out on a rehab stint for the Royals. So be interesting to see how much longer he'll be out and when he comes back, after missing that much time. And will he be the same player in left field?
Yeah.
That was an awful looking injury for a guy that obviously relies on his legs to make plays.
If he's healthy, I'm sure he can be. If he can flat out run, and I'm sure they'll test him. They won't bring him back until he is ready. There's no doubt about it. It's the hitting aspect that comes back when you miss all that time. He'll be another. I could see him still being a defensive weapon.
It's weird. They've got a note here that says that Gardner is only the 5th position player drafted by the Yankees to make the All-Star team as a Yankee. The others, Jorge Posada,
Mattingly,
Derek Jeter, Don Mattingly, and Thurman Munson.
Wow. Well, drafted, they signed so many free agents. And that's the key. It's interesting. Position players.
Position players.
Yeah,
We're not talking pitchers.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Obviously. Of course, would Rivera count as a draft pick? Because he was probably signed. He wasn't part of the draft, but Pettit would have been.
Right.
Yeah, which is why I think Bernie Williams wouldn't be on that list because he wasn't a draft pick. He was international signing, not part of the draft. Now the 0-2 in the dirt. And, of course, we forget that all those great Yankees, the DiMaggio era, Mickey Mantle, those guys, there was no draft back then, right? And the draft didn't come around till
60s, mid-60s.
65 was the first year of the draft. What was it, just a free-for-all back then? I guess it was, huh? The 1-2 pitch. Smack to center and a base hit. Around third, Drew will be waved home. Almonte's throw is very close, but not in time, as Drew scores to make it 7-2 New York. Tell you, Almonte made a good, strong throw and made it a lot closer than it looked like it was going to be.
He certainly did. There's Drew coming around third, and he felt like, maybe I'll make it easily, but he did not. That was a good effort by Almonte. And that throw keeps the runners where they were going. Here comes the tag, but not before he could tag the plate. So Crockett's night is over. The error comes around to score, and a walk and a base hit after he got the first man out.
Timeout for a pitching change, 7-2 Yankees. Night.
Danny Salazar with an outstanding changeup last night, and just watch the swings and misses and you'll know why, because I think every strikeout, all 8 have come on the changeups. It was a good one last night. Salazar, 7 1/3 innings, 8 strikeouts. He did walk 5, which was a high for him.
Swing and a miss by Alex Rodriguez. Just missed with it.
Armstrong, for the second time, he was really fired up in his major league debut. I think it was in that blowout game, but he came in and he was firing seeds. 96 or better, because he was fired up. Settled in now. He looks like he's at about 93, 94.
Rodriguez bounces it to short, backhanded by Lindor to second for one on the first. Double play! Another sensational twin killer turned by the Indians infield. Lindor to Ramirez, on to Johnson, and the inning is over.
Back here, 7-2 Yankees entering the bottom half of the sixth inning. It's going to be Gomes, Almonte, and Johnson. The hitters due up. Nathan Eovaldi heading out. He's walked 3 so far, struck out 4, given up just 4 hits. The Indians scored their 2 runs back in the 3rd inning. The Yankees have scored in 4 of the first 6 innings.
Gomes, a swing and a miss.
Probably Eovaldi's last inning. As we said, he averages about 6 innings. He'll hit the 100 pitch mark, I would think, in this inning. But he has featured a very good fastball, changeup. Early in the game, the slow hook. He could start hitters out early, and also a slider.
Eovaldi with a 1-2 to Gomes, and a breaking ball broke his bat. Going to drop for a hit. Gomes takes a turn. He's going to go for 2. Here's a throw by Gardner, and Gomes is safe. Ball was cut off by Gregorius, and a leadoff double for Yan Gomes. It's the first extra base hit tonight for Cleveland.
Well, he gets another. It gets that curveball here that stayed on the middle towards the inside part of the plate. That enabled him to pull it. His first hit came off a changeup. So Gomes is now 2 for 3. And Matt, the first double, as you mentioned, extra base hit for the Indians, a leadoff double.
And Abraham Almonte 0 for 2 tonight.
Well, a weird at bat last time. He was sort of robbed. After the Indians had scored a 2-out base hit by Santana, Gomes got a single, and Almonte hit one right up the middle. It ricocheted off the foot of Eovaldi, and it went right to the first baseman, Bird, where he was able to pick it up and step on first to end the inning. Unfortunately for the Indians. It looked like it was headed into center field. There he goes. No. Ricochet. There goes Bird. Picks it up and beats him to the bag. You can see there was no defender up there that was going to get to it. So a tough break.
And even if it ricochets anywhere but right to the first baseman.
Yeah, exactly. It keeps the inning going, right.
And a run would have scored. There's Almonte shooting one to deep left. It's over Gardner's head. It'll short hop the wall. Coming around third. Gomes will be waved home. Into second with an RBI double is Almonte. And the Indians make it a 7-3 ball game.
Well, I'll tell you what, he hit that ball. That jumped off his bat. So after the first double, they go back to back. So Yellowwood bringing the lumber. Look at that, a fastball down and away, and boy, did he stay on this pitch. Yeah, rifled the ball over the head of Gardner. He played it very well off the wall. Going in, Gomes sort of had to wait. Although with the lead, they went straight to second base. So 6 hits now for the Indians.
Chris Johnson 0 for 2. He has grounded out, struck out. Let's straighten him up.
You know, the Indians offense, they have 10 or more hits in 5 straight in 6 of the club's last 7 games. So you can get yourself back in now. This is about the inning you're going to have to do it, because that Yankee bullpen gets awfully strong in that 7th inning on. And they have somebody up and getting loose.
Adam Warren is the right-hander up in New York's pen. And that's inside, ball 1.
Yeah, out comes Rothschild, the pitching coach. He's going to jog and make sure Warren gets some time to warm up.
Well, the Indians are off to Minnesota tomorrow night. It'll be Corey Kluber going for the Indians. Trevor May goes into the starting rotation. They put Phil Hughes on the DL.
Oh, okay.
And our coverage will start with Indians Live at 7:30. First pitch, 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on Sports Time Ohio. Two-0 pitch. And it's outside. 3-0. And the 100th pitch of the night coming up right here. Bullseye taken all the way. Nathan Eovaldi had a long 3rd inning. That's when the Indians scored 2 and sent 7 men to the plate. Oh, my. Called a strike in a full count.
Well, he let the bat go, and now look at Hirschbeck looking at him. Well, there you go as a hitter when you feel it's away. Boy, that's a tough one there. 3-1, you figure you got the walk. And then he calls it, and the bat comes flying out. You don't say a word. You don't look at him.
The 3-2. Chopped to third base slowly. Headley throws him out. 1 away. Almonte aggressively going to third base. And Lonnie Chisholm all coming up. Lonnie 0 for 2 tonight, and 1 out of 5 in the series. Made a nice defensive play early in the ballgame, running toward the line, reached down, basket catch.
So far, he looks pretty comfortable out there to me.
And there's a base hit in the right field. Almonte will score. And the Indians close the gap to 7-4. And Chisenhall's picked up a hit now in 4 straight games. 6 hits in his last 13 at-bats. And that's going to be it for Nathan Eovaldi.
Yeah, they wanted that ball up above the belt and a little more away, and it came inside, and Chisenhall was able to turn on it, get it under the glove of Bird into right field. So there you have 2 on in the inning. It's a 7-4 ball game, and they can make it interesting.
So Eovaldi is out. Time now for our AT&T U-verse Rewind. Indians bringing the bats out here in the 6th. Started with a broken bat double by Gomes. And then Almonte really sucked one. Driving home Yan. And then Lonnie Chisenhall
Base
delivered.
hit, right? He missed his location. Just took advantage of it. They have 2 on the board. Still just 1 out. And a runner at first base. Adam Warren coming on now for the Yankees. He's made 14 starts for him. This is his 15th appearance. 6-5 record. Pitched a scoreless inning in that 16-inning game on Tuesday night.
Fastball in there for strike 1.
27 years old. From Birmingham, Alabama. Resides now down in Florida. And we did see everybody out of that Yankee pen on Tuesday night, and they had some good arms coming out of it.
Well, Rick, with both Warren and Brian Mitchell, the Yankees have 2 guys in that bullpen that could very easily be in the starting rotation.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got
good enough stuff.
Starter stuff.
Yes, they do.
Urshela straightened up. 2-1. He walked and scored in the 3rd, then singled in the 4th inning. Snapping a 0 for 14 at the plate. On the appeal, Marvin Hudson said he went too far.
Take a look at it, see what you think from the side.
Ooh. And a double play ball to second. Yankees get out of the inning. The Indians get two closer, though. And it's 7-4 Yankees as we head to the seventh. Kia. Visit mykiacleveland.com to learn more. By Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture and freestanding locations. And by AT&T Uverse, has more channels on the go than cable. (7-4), New York leads it. Seventh inning. And leading off is Carlos Beltran. 1 for 3 tonight with a single. 4 for 10 in the series. Beltran bounced into a double play his last time up, one of 2 turned tonight by the Indians. And I think it's 5 in the series if my calculations are correct.
Let me see.
Low and away.
That is right.
Down and in, couldn't get him to chase. 9 double plays turned by the Tribe's defense on the homestand. 3-2 swung out and missed. Good fastball, ran it away, and Armstrong gets the punch out.
Well located. Let's look at McCann in this series. Look at pretty much the same spot on a couple of those low fastballs. He doesn't miss them down and in. This one just inside the pole tonight. And that got the Yankees on the board with a 3-run homer back in the first inning.
Outside corner, a strike is called. McCann's 8th straight season of at least 20 home runs. Pops this one up. Lindor calling for it. And the shortstop has it 2 down.
Well, get your fan design T-shirt courtesy of Toyota. That'll take place Wednesday, August 26th. The Milwaukee Brewers will be in town. Tribe Town shirt was designed by a fan in an online contest earlier this year. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Upstairs to Chase Headley. He's 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch back in the first. Fastball strike over the outside corner. And a foul. That got a piece of John Hirschbeck. And Yacht Combs will give the veteran umpire a chance to shake it off.
Watch this ball just keep going inside, and Gomes, it goes around his glove and got him down on the shin. Shinburger right there. That does not feel good. The protection's there, and the catchers know it because they take them a lot.
Downstairs. Low and away with a heater. Full count. He fights it off. Armstrong getting it up there 95 miles an hour. Rick, it seems like anymore, if you can't hit 95, you might not get a chance in the bullpen.
That's scary, isn't it? Seems like every team you're coming in and they have 3-4 guys.
Just a bit high, ball 4. So a 2-out walk keeps the inning alive. Baseball on Fox Sports 1 returns this week. It's a doubleheader, Angels, Royals, and then Nats, Giants. It all happens Saturday on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Greg Bird 0 for 3. He's flied out all 3 times tonight. Once to right, twice to left. Fifth-round pick 4 years ago by the Yankees. Played in 13 games this spring with the big league club and batted .353, so he left a pretty good impression. Overall at AAA, he batted .301 this year. Fouled right back.
Yeah, he's got a good swing. Stays down on the ball. Seems like he hits it where it's pitched.
Yeah, he missed a month earlier this year, too, with a right shoulder injury. Swing and a miss. Armstrong strikes him out. Time now for the 7th inning stretch, brought to you by Spitzer Auto World. Stay tuned for Indians Live, presented by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care, coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. Yankees have a new pitcher, new right fielder here as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Justin Wilson will come on to chuck it. Wilson making his 53rd appearance of the year. He's 4-0, 2.38 ERA. Opposition batting below 200 against him. Chris Young takes over in right field for Carlos Beltran. And the Indians will send the top of the order up here in the home half of the 7th, down 3 runs.
Well, we got a chance to see Wilson the other night as well. He went an inning, gave up a hit. He was throwing in the mid-90s as well, had a nice breaking ball to go with it.
And he zips a fastball in there for strike 1. Same spot, same result, 0-2. Ramirez tries to punch one to center, but Ellsbury will come in and grab it. 1 down. Let's go down to Andre, who is more in the Indians' bullpen right now.
Well, just not the Indians' bullpen, but bullpens in general. It's funny. Tito Francona and I were talking before the game about bullpens and how things have changed. He said when you were in Boston, he just tried to wear out the starting pitcher so you could get into the bullpen. He goes, but you look around the league now, the good teams all have 2 or 3 closers, and they've got so many great guys that you want the starter out there as long as you possibly can. So he goes, the hitting theory has changed a little bit where you hit the best pitch you can rather than try to wear out a starter with all these great bullpens in Major League Baseball right now.
Well, the Yankees and Red Sox started that whole thing. I mean, we played those 2 teams.
Yeah.
I mean, it was painful because they would just take foul off, drive that pitch count up,
Sure.
get into the bullpen. That was the philosophy.
And when they played each other, it was a 4-hour game every time they played. But the Yankees in New York, same style hitters.
That ball was smoked by Lindor and almost took Justin Wilson with it. 1-out base hit here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, you get into bullpens now, and it's one guy for an inning. Usually they don't pitch more unless the game certainly will dictate it. But if it's a close game, get out of the way. That came back in a hurry. The old chuck and duck.
I wonder, Rick, if it's simply just a case of evolution where you have more pitchers throwing harder because there's just
that's
more
all
of
they
them.
do.
Right. Or is it a case where
they throw 20 pitches. That's it. And they're out of the game. That's it. You go out there and it's max for 20 pitches and see you later. They'll protect you. I mean, over the course of the year are going to be games where you're going to be worn out where, they need you for more. But in a normal situation, they come in and it's about 20 pitches tops for their 1 inning. And I say tops because if they're throwing strikes, they're going to be less than that. Especially the way they're throwing. It's specializing. Coming up to you have certain left-handers that face left-handers. You got righties that come in different arm angles. They like to have out every bullpen. Long time ago, it used to be starters. You go out and give you the distance. The other guys in the bullpen weren't good enough to start, so they'd bring you in after the starter was finished.
Brantley with a pop to center. 2 down. Yankees have held Brantley in check, save for the 1 sacrifice fly tonight where he drove in a run in the 3rd. Dellin Betances, he's the big man in the middle, if you will, for the Yankees in that bullpen.
Like if this guy was to have issues or problems in this inning, I'm sure they'd bring him in for 2 innings to finish this inning off and the next one because they need the win. you know, nowadays, if your starter gives you 6, the way the bullpens are set up, that's all you're looking for. It's nice if you could get more.
Every team, maybe not every, but pretty much every team's got a 7, 8, 9 specific guy. So if you get 6,
Well,
they
look
know
for 6.
They know who the guys are that are going to go pitch
Yeah.
those last 3 innings.
Yeah, and if you're not winning, they know if you're winning after 6, the 3 they're going to use. If you're not, then it could be a little different.
Yep.
You're going to see different guys coming out of the bullpen.
The 1-0. Low. Now you think back to that really strong bullpen the Indians had in 2007. And it was Rafael Perez, Rafael Betancourt. We called him Raffy left and Raffy right. And Joe Borowski.
Yeah.
Would white knuckle it to the finish line.
Boy, would he ever.
Santana taking all the way. It's in there for a strike.
But he got the job done. He got it done, didn't he? What, 45 times or?
Yeah. The 3-1 pitch. Not including of those 45 saves. The final one against these Yankees at old Yankee Stadium. The last playoff game in that historic building. Indians knocked the Yankees out, and the next year they didn't make the playoffs. And the year after that, they opened their new stadium. In fact, that was Joe Torre's last game. Now the 3-2. Socked into left field, a base hit just by Gregorius. Lindor on his way to third. He'll hold there. The Indians have 2 on with 2 out here in the 7th inning.
You may see the big man now.
And the tying run to the plate. Here comes Joe Girardi.
Sure. You got that right with the tying run coming to the plate. This was a BB. He got it by him. He left the fastball up. He challenged him, and you can see Gregorius dive for it. He couldn't get there. So now the tying run comes to the plate.
And the Empire State Building is coming in from the bullpen.
Yes, he is.
Dellin Betances. All 6'8" of them will be coming on when we come back.
Well, the new Tribe Town MVP's Kids Club is designed for Tribe fans between ages 6 and 14. MVPs take part in exclusive events and receive cool gear to add to their collection. Go to Indians.com if you would like more information.
Dellin Betances, 6'8", 53rd appearance of the year, and a 1.23 earned run average. Francisco Lindor, the runner at third base. Carlos Santana's at first, and the tying run, Yan Gomes, at the plate. Gomes is 2 for 3 tonight. He flied out the deep center in the first. He singled to right in the third, doubled to left in the sixth. And Betances starts him off with a breaking ball.
Well, you figure slider's his pitch. And Gomes was swinging it looked like no matter what. He was geared for a fastball, but he didn't get it.
Threw it again, 0-2.
Well, he comes right back with it. No reason not to. He hasn't been close, but Gomes has swung at both sliders. Betances has thrown them. And boy, you talk about work now, down 0-2. You haven't seen a fastball and probably won't. Yeah.
High heater. He did not go.
The show pitch to take him off that slider down the way. Thought he was going to get him to swing. It was close.
Well, at 98 miles an hour, that's tough to hit if it's right down the middle. Runner goes at first, and the pitch is outside, so the Indians have 2 in scoring position now. That'll give a steal for Santana, his 8th. Now base hit could make it a 1-run game. Just a little bit high with that slider, cut under it a little too much. And now the count is full.
Well, he comes back to it, and you can see it's high. But I bet he comes back with it 3-2.
Really, with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Here we go, payoff pitch. Upstairs, ball 4.
From 0-2 to drawing the walk.
I just find a hard time to believe that you'd mess around to bring the go-ahead run to the plate with an off-speed pitch there.
Well, that's just his best pitch, his slider to right-handers, and he got him to swing at 2 of them, but he never located the slider there again.
Yeah.
He went with the 0-2 fastball high, and then a couple of high sliders.
Abraham Almonte doubled in a run and scored in the 6th. The former Yankee farmhand takes a slider, and that's called a strike.
See, now he comes right at the left-handers with it. Slider machine. I watched this guy earlier in the year, and he was struggling because he didn't have a slider, and he was getting beat up. But when he's got it, look out.
Foul with the fastball. Almonte wanted to try to put that one down into the right field corner. But unfortunately, he's put himself down in the count, 0-2. Lindor, Santana. The tying run, Gomes at first. Bases loaded, 2 out in the 7th. And the 0-2 pitch in the dirt. I don't know how it didn't hit him. It goes to the backstop. Lindor scores. Everybody else moves up 90. It's a 7-5 ball game.
That's a gift run right there. They say thank you very much. We'll take it. He just overthrows this pitch.
Well, Betances loaded him with a walk and then uncorked a wild pitch that time.
That was a slider as well.
Now a base hit ties the game. But he goes down hacking to end the inning. We head to the 8th. 7-5 New York. By authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. We got a new pitcher as we go to the 8th inning with a 7-5 ball game. Sean Armstrong did a terrific job coming out of the Indians bullpen tonight. And he'll give way now to Austin Adams. Adams will be facing Didi Gregorius, Stephen Drew, and Jacoby Ellsbury. Swing and a miss at a fastball away. Well, after what has been a very entertaining series here in Cleveland, these teams will meet 4 times over next weekend in New York. Next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Hit to center field, and Almonte barely has to move. 1 down. As promised earlier, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. 1997, the American League Division Series. Back up the middle. No, it's Sandy Alomar.
Yes, it is. Off Rivera.
And then back up the middle. And just beyond a diving Derek Jeter.
Yeah, great times there.
Swung out and missed 0-2. Boy, Stephen Drew, he reached with 1 out in the 6th inning. It was an error charged to Urshela. It was a terrific diving stop that he made going to the line, but when he got up, got rid of it quickly and short hopped first baseman Chris Johnson. So he reached on an error that was charged to Urshela, went to second on a pass ball, and then came around on a base hit by Brett Gardner. That's the last Yankee run in the game, but boy, does that potentially loom large now.
Yes, it sure does.
Pulls that foul over towards Tony Pena. Still has those great catcher's hands.
Remember the way he used to give the target getting down?
Oh, yeah.
Did any catcher ever give a lower target
I
than
never
Tony?
saw anybody since. Maybe Benito Santiago used to go all the way down, but not like Tony, I don't think. He'd stick that leg out on the ground, almost like he was in a sprinter's stretch.
Yeah, he would get as low as you could possibly get.
And what was crazy is I saw him throw a guy out at second base sitting down on the ground with his butt on the ground. He had a cannon for an arm.
Yes, he certainly did.
2-2 pitch. Adams has run the count full to Stephen Drew. He ends up walking him. 1 on, 1 out. Top of the order. Yeah, Tony Pena was a longtime bench coach, but they kind of shook things up here in the offseason. Then he went to first base. First base coach went to the bench coach. Tony's been in the game a long time.
Well,
remember, he was a manager with the Royals at one time.
I was just going to say that one time he was able to turn them around to get them to the 500 mark after they haven't been able to do it for so long.
He hit one of the biggest home runs in Indians history, I think you'd have to say. The first playoff game in 40 years. A home run and extras off Zane Smith. Two 2-0 the count, and in comes Francisco Lindor for a quick chat with Austin Adams.
Manship working behind Adams.
Hit into right field. Drew around second. He'll stop there. Yankees at first and second with 1 out.
Comes back and gets a fastball. He was having a tough time finding the strike zone. Ellsbury was waiting for him. He's been slumping, but he has 2 hits tonight. He has walked once. No, he's 2 out of 4. Although Drew could not get to third base, so it's first and second. Still 1 out.
Well, Brett Gardner, who had been silenced for most of this series, has 2 hits, 2 RBIs. He has walked and he has scored a run. As you said, Rick, you control the top 2 guys in this lineup, and you pretty much can control the Yankees. They haven't done it tonight.
Well,
that's a big reason why New York's had success.
When you have big swingers and the guys that can hit it out of the ballpark, those first 2 guys in the lineup make a big deal, and it's with any lineup. You know, this Yankee club, they can be pitched to. They have some homes, but they can hit some homers, and they work the count. So they hit homers, they will walk. Don't let these guys distract you. You got to go at them, but they're good hitters and they're going to get their hits anyway.
Austin Adams has thrown 14 pitches, 7 balls, 7 strikes. He's walked one, given up a single. Huge at bat right here in the inning. Terry Francona contemplating his next move. Should Adams get Gardner, does he stay with him to face Rodriguez? Or does he go to get Manship? Here's the 1-2. Oh, just a bit high. Manship appears to be ready. And the 2-2. Same spot. And the payoff pitch. Oh, just by Urshela in the left field. Coming around third, Stephen Drew will score. And the Yankees once again answer back and lead it now 8-5. Gardner's third hit of the night, his third run batted in.
Well, he threw him the fastball away. Gardner waiting because he missed with a couple of fastballs up prior to this pitch, and he just stayed on it. Gets it past Urshela. And his night's going to be over with. The one-out walk to Drew. Then started nibbling a little bit. Then the base hit. And an RBI base hit, and his night is over.
Boy, Rick, it was hit hard, no question about it. But it was so close to be another spectacular play by Urshela, but just beyond his reach. And so the Yankees steal back the momentum. We've got a timeout here in the 8th. Now, Brett Gardner it's taken him a while to get going in this series, but he's got it going tonight.
Well, he sure does. 3 hits. He's got the Yankees' last 3 ribbies. that have been driven in. And I mean, he's staying on it, going the other way. And right there, gets a pitch to his liking to drive in another one. So he's had a great night. He walked once, too. So he's been on four times out of the 5, driven in 3, scored 1. Big part of it.
Now Jeff Manship on for the 16th time this year. 2 on, 1 out, and he's got Alex Rodriguez at the plate. Rodriguez 0 for 3 tonight, just 1 for 13 in the series. And he chases the first pitch. Good slider down and away. Another one, and it's 0-2. And he just hit the top of that one to stay alive. Fouls it off. Alex Rodriguez was suspended and missed all of last year by Major League Baseball. And there was more speculation than you can imagine as to what would happen. Would he come back? Would the Yankees bring him back? Would they try to get rid of him? Would they? And to his credit, he's kind of stayed under the radar. He's gone about, done a very nice job for New York this season. But regardless, because of his own hand, everything in his career will have the shadow of a doubt.
It'll be tainted, over it. No question. Yeah, I remember when he first came up as a shortstop with Seattle Mariners. Boy, what a young talent.
Now the 1-2. Again, he gets a piece of it to stay alive. Again, a foul back. Well, he looked really bad on those first 2 sliders. And now he keeps fouling each and every one of them off.
Well, that one stayed upstairs for Manship. That was up a little bit. You want to get it down. You might be able even to bounce it in a 1-2 count here. If not, throw that high fastball.
He went to the heater, but he missed badly with it, and it's 2-2. (8-5) New York. They've taken back a run here in the 8th inning. After the Indians closed it within 7-5, and he finally got him to go fish. Second out of the inning, Manship strikes him out.
Yeah, this one he gets him to chase out of the zone. Yeah, you didn't want to throw him a strike. He'll chase, and he does right there. So he comes up, gets the second out. First time A-Rod has struck out tonight. So the Indians with a chance to keep it just a one-run inning for the Yankees.
Chris Young, who came on for Carlos Beltran defensively, gets his first at bat of the night. And it's outside, ball one.
The Yankees, 10 hits tonight. You remember in that 16-inning game in Game 1, they only had 8. They only had 4 last night. So they had 12 in the first 2 games, or almost 3 games.
Yeah. Swung out and missed. It's 1-1. Yeah, 16 innings in the series opener.
Had 10 hits tonight. This is the game they've been looking for.
Half of their hits collected by Ellsbury and Gardner. Low and away, 2-1. Royals lead the Angels 3-1. They're in the 6th inning in Kansas City. The Halos have lost 3 in a row. They trail Houston by 2 in the AL West. Just outside, 3-1. Here's a 3-1 pitch. And a foul by Young. Full count. Earlier today, Texas beat Minnesota. That's where the Indians will head next to play the Twins. Minnesota had won 2 in a row, but the Twins have lost 8 of their last 11. And a lot of their troubles began, Rick, when they came here to Cleveland. The Indians kind of smacked them around a little bit and sent them into a tailspin. They were sort of already in it, but they haven't recovered, put it that way. Ricochets off the glass facade of the restaurant. Yankees at first and second with 2 down. And a 3-2 count for Chris Young. Runners will be out. The 3-2 swing and a miss. He struck him out. We'll head to the bottom of the 8th. It's now New York 8, Cleveland 5. Bottom of the 8th inning. Indians down 8-5. Bottom third of the order coming up. Chris Johnson, Lonnie Chisenhall, Giovanni Urshela to face Dellin Betances, who got the final out of the 7th. But not before he uncorked a wild pitch that got the Indians to within 2 runs at that time. Johnson 0 for 3 on the night. Leads it off and takes a strike.
See if he establishes that fastball before he gets to that slider. There was a lot of sliders last inning.
They're right by him.
That's what you're talking about with 97.
Yeah, I mean,
don't be afraid to use it.
It's hard to square up.
Yes, it is.
The 0-2 offering, and that's fouled away. There is something, I think, inherent among pitchers. This is what I've gathered over the years, being around guys, listening to guys talk. There's something in here. They want to make hitters look bad. They don't just want to get you out. They want to make you look bad doing it. And so sometimes, instead of just going with your best pitch, they want to go with something they think is going to make you look bad.
Well, that's okay. They can do that, but the object of the game is to get outs and you get them quickly. Doesn't matter how you get them.
We always heard that about Sam McDowell. He was so good. His fastball was so good. They said it almost appeared that he became bored with throwing his fastball, so he wanted to throw off-speed pitches.
Yeah, I think Sam wanted to please himself, when he did it. I certainly didn't have an opportunity to ever face him or watch him pitch or play behind him, but they say he had the best stuff of anybody for 4-pitch mix. The guys you talk to that played with him and a lot of guys that played against him.
The 1-2 offering upstairs with it. I always remember late Mike Hegan saying he faced him one time and he said he threw 2 fastballs. He goes, they were in the catcher's glove before I could even think about swinging at him. And then he hung a slider and he hit it out for a home run. He goes, why he threw me a slider, I have no idea, but he said, thank you very much. 2-2 line to right center. That might be in the gap. It is. Gets down and go to the wall. Johnson on his way to second base. And he has his 3rd double as a member of the Indians. And that's his 9th hit in 17 at-bats.
Well, there he goes. He got a pitch that leaked back to the inside part of the plate. And he shoots it the other way. Ellsbury ran a route like he thought he was going to catch it. And it ends up getting by him to the wall in right field. So it'll be a double.
And Lonnie Chisenhall, 1 for 3 on the night. He had an RBI single in the 6th. And he's hitting 4 straight. I don't know how this game's going to end up, but I love the fact that what we're seeing from the Indians as a team is a lot more fight, a lot more
they're not
ability.
quitting.
I don't want to say fight. That's not the right word because I don't think this team has ever rolled over this year. But just there's ability here to come back and generate some offense where there just wasn't earlier in the year. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a lot of guys in the front office trying to figure out why, but this group, for whatever reason,
well, they've been able to do it on this homestand. That one game, I think, that got this homestand started against Minnesota, they were down 6-0, and within the next 2 innings, they had the lead. They ended up losing that game on Friday night, 10-9. But what it did, it gave them something that they've been able to build off of.
Yeah.
And then they came back and smoked them the next 2 days, and come in and win the first 2 games against the Yankees, and they were down here 4-0, and they're coming back. They believe they can come back.
Lonnie is rung up. That's a big out for Betances. 1 down. His second strikeout. Take a look at this slider.
Well, you look for that fastball, and he takes that slider. That one comes down into the strike zone, and it locks up Lonnie, so that's out number one. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot to be said for what happened here this week, and we're going to take this act on the road. And they played well on the road this year, so hopefully that will continue.
Urshela sends a towering pop to center field. Ellsbury backpedaling and makes the grab, 2 down. Well, you talked about it, Rick. A lot to be said for what's happened on this homestand. This homestand began with some upheaval. The first day of the homestand, August 7th, is when the Indians traded Michael Bourne and Nick Swisher to the Atlanta Braves. They got Chris Johnson back. They added Abraham Almonte the next day. I mean, that's how this whole thing started.
Yes.
And then they're down 6-0 early, and everybody's going,
yeah,
oh,
no
boy.
chance. You're figuring, all right, they're going to write it off. And that's the way it has been.
And then they turn things around. Jose Ramirez with 6 hits in the series. He singled and scored back in the third. He's in the hole 0-2. And he chops this foul. Yeah, we mentioned it before. Real test for this club coming up. The 21 of the next 26 will be played on the road. An 11-game road trip starts tomorrow, and the Indians will come home for only 5. A 2-gamer against Milwaukee, and then 3 games over the weekend, and then right back out again for 10.
Yeah, another 3-city trip. They will get to enjoy their longest homestand of the year in September.
Yeah. Up and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And all of a sudden, Betances has made close to 30 pitches. Johnson, the leadoff double, but the Indians have been unable to move him. Outside, full count.
Well, another hitter now that we've seen Betances go from 0-2 to 3-2. So he has not had command of that slider. His fastball's been spotty. He has let hitters back into at-bats.
Payoff pitch. He strikes him out to end the inning. We'll go to the 9th. 8-5 New York.
there in Cleveland. The Indians have been battling all night. Hopefully they'll hold them in the top half. Then in the bottom half, Jensen, you would think we'll have to see Andrew Miller and find a way to score a few more runs.
Yeah, I hope the Pen keeps it a 3-run deficit. Well, we've seen crazier things happen. He did blow his first save of the year against the Tribe. 3-run deficit, a little bit tougher than a 2-run, so hopefully it stays there.
We'll see after the game. Indians Live brought to you by Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. Back to Matt and Rick upstairs, guys.
All right, we go to the ninth. And for New York, it will be Brian McCann, Chase Headley, and Greg Bird due up. Jeff Manship, back-to-back strikeouts to end the eighth. Stays on a pitch here in the ninth. And it's outside ball one. McCann homered in the first. A 3-run shot that kind of set the tone for this one.
Yeah, it sure did. Right down the line. He took a peek at it, sort of watched it, realized it stayed fair. And his 20th home run on the year.
Man, Trevor Bauer knocked out after just 3 1/3. Charged with 6 runs on 7 hits. That ball smashed deep right. Back is Chisenhall. Makes the catch on the warning track. Yeah, that is out number 1. Looking back at our keys to the game, courtesy of Wayside Furniture. Keep them in the park. Indians didn't do that.
No, they did not.
A couple of homers early. Got the Yankees off and running, and then, I thought the Indians offensively, they did a nice job against Eovaldi.
Yeah, they did.
Liner to center, and Almonte has it. I mean, kind of a bad break in that third inning when they scored 2. Could have been more. And then they
were
knocked
fine.
him out in the 6th.
Well, as Eovaldi's year is gone, the Yankees, they scored him 7 runs when he was in the game. They have 8 on the day. So receives the second best run support in the league, and you see why. He's looking for win number 12.
Greg Bird in his major league debut here tonight, 0 for 4. He's flat out 3 times, struck out his last time up. Out of plate. Missed outside with that. Nice pitch inside corner. Rung him up. Manship retires all 5 that he faces here tonight. We go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for the Indians here at Progressive Field. Bottom of the ninth, they're down 8-5. And on to try and save it for the Yankees is Andrew Miller, who was perfect in his first 24 attempts until the series opener here in Cleveland, when they handed him a 2-run lead and the Indians rallied for 2 to tie it.
Yeah, it was Lindor leading that inning off in the 10th, where he hit that little chopper in between where he had to cover first base. Teixeira flipped it to him, so a little bit out of whack, and by the time Lindor hit his first base, then Miller's foot came down. He beat it out, and the next thing you know, they had a rally going. Brantley doubled after that. So the key here, see if you can get that leadoff man aboard. You just never know.
The Indians have wrapped out 10 hits tonight. And a base hit by Lindor to start here in the bottom of the ninth.
There's your start. He wasn't going to spot him anything. Took it the other way. It looked like he got a fastball, and he wasn't going to wait for that slider. He gets a one that's elevated, so he stayed on it.
Brantley is 0 for 3 with a sac fly. Michael has continued his consistent approach. He came in with 11 hits in his last 20 at-bats. You don't see many 4-game hit streaks, and a guy who's 11 for 20.
That's true.
Usually a 4-game hit streak means the guy's got 4 or 5 hits maybe. He's got 11. But here tonight, they've held him off the board to this point. Tough lefty-lefty matchup. Michael shoots one, foul. Into the seats.
Yeah, he stayed in on him. Michael hit a slider off him on Tuesday. And he left it up a little bit and took advantage of it. That time he ran a heater in. Didn't give him much swinging room.
And again, Michael shoots it out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You knew it was going to be tough coming in to try and sweep the Yankees. The Indians had not swept New York since 1989, and that was in New York in a 3-game series.
Don't even talk about here.
Here you have to go back to 1970.
Yeah.
It's before you were even born. 2-2 is low and away.
Thank you very much.
Well, before you were born as an Indian, let's put it that way.
That's true. Well, Brantley, let's go. He gets on base. You got the tying run coming to the plate.
Now the payoff pitch. And he
held on.
Oh, he did.
Held on to it.
That is out number 1.
There's that slider, and there it was. Michael put a swing on it, and he fouled it off, and it stays in the glove. Sometimes that ball pops out. It didn't that time. Look at McCann looking in there and saying, yeah, I got it.
Well, here's Carlos Santana. He has 2 hits tonight. He has walked. He has stolen a base, and he has driven 1 home. We talked about the Indians' struggles for the most part this year with runners in scoring position and how they've really turned that around on this homestand. Santana's maybe the poster child for that. He's 7 for his last 16 with a runner in scoring position now. after he had the big 2-out RBI knock in the third. This is a pop to right, shallow right, long run for Young. Will he get there? It doesn't matter. The second baseman, Drew, did. And now there are 2 down. Well, let's see what Yan Gomes can do with 2 outs. He had a 2-out single in the third. He walked with 2 outs in the 7th. Way back in the first inning, he had that fly ball to deep center with 2 on and 2 out that ended that inning. Lindor goes down to second to erase the potential force. That's indifference, so no steal for him, but Andrew Miller took it hard the other night. He didn't point fingers. He didn't make excuses. He said, I blew it. And he said, I feel terrible. They handed me a 2-run lead, and I didn't get the job done. It's the only time he hasn't gotten it done this year.
Right.
But you wouldn't have known it by the way he reacted afterwards.
It's tough to be perfect in that role.
There's a broken bat bleeper. Will it fall? It will. Coming around third, Lindor will score. And the Indians will not go quietly here in the 9th. Yan Gomes with his 3rd hit of the ball game, his 28th RBI on the season. Lindor crosses the dish. And now the tying run is at the plate.
He got the slider. He didn't get it in where he wanted it. And Gomes gets enough of it, gets it in front of Ellsbury. It falls in. Another 2-out RBI for the Indians. It's now 8-6. They have 12 hits. And the tying run comes to the dish.
Once again, this club has continued to keep clawing away at New York all night long. Now down to their last out. In their final at bat, Abraham Almonte is swinging a miss. Almonte drove in a run with a double in the 6th. And Miller cuts it in on him. It's 0-2. Two-strike pitch. Almonte fouls it off. And then Gomes heads back to first. Again, the 0-2. And another foul back.
He has one to waste. He's got that nasty back foot slider he can throw to right-handers.
Strike 3 called, and the game is over. The Yankees win it by a final score of 8-6 as they avoid the sweep here in the series finale. Andrew Miller holds on to get the save. He wobbled a little bit here in the ninth, but he'll go home with 25 saves under his belt on the year. Yankees go to 62 and 51. Indians head out of town 53 and 60. Nathan Eovaldi only went 5 1/3, but he improves to 12 and 2 on the year. And Trevor Bauer, knocked out after 3 1/3, is now 9 and 9 on the season.
Well, it was a typical Eovaldi start. They go out and they get him a lot of runs, and it was a tough start for Trevor Bauer, only going 3 1/3. They put him in the hole early. But I'll tell you what, again, we said this offense came back. They battled. They put 6 on the board. It's tough when you score 6 that you have to lose a game, but it was an uphill battle. They had a chance. Now you embark 11 days. You have 11 games before we'll be back into this ballpark.
Well, before we get to the road trip, here's our Pat O'Brien Chevrolet play of the game. Brett Gardner. He is like the pest that you can't get rid of. And they held him down all series long, but he got loose tonight.
You controlled him two games out of the 3, and you see what happened when you didn't control him. He had a great night, drove in their last 3 runs. So Gardner is the O'Brien play of the game.
So a disappointing end to the series for the Indians, but all in all, a very good homestand. Something to build on for this young club as they head out on the road now for a grueling 11-game road trip. For Rick Manning and Andre Knott, I'm Matt Underwood. Thanks for watching. Take a look at Mike Aviles and his beautiful young daughters and his wife, Adriana, fighting leukemia. Throw out the first pitch tonight. What a joy it was to see her and the family smiling here at Progressive Field. Stay tuned for Indians Live, coming up next.